Engine AIT 800 versus Tesla. Optimus Phi 3 versus Figure 03 is not just a comparison of robots. It's a comparison of three completely different philosophies about how the future of humanoid robotics should be built, deployed, and scaled. These three robots represent very different strategies, very different markets, and very different definitions of what success in humanoid robotics really means. What makes this comparison so important in 2026 is that humanoid robots are no longer judged by backflips and demos. They're judged by repeatability, cost, control, and real-world usefulness. And this is where the gap between these robots becomes impossible to ignore. Let's start with Boston Dynamics Atlas 2.0, revealed at CES 2026. Atlas has always been the gold standard for motion, balance, and dynamic control. With Atlas 2.0, Boston Dynamics pushed that reputation even further. This robot moves less like a machine and more like a highly trained athlete. Its walking, running, lifting, and recovery behaviors are shockingly natural. Atlas 2.0 isn't just agile. It's context-aware in motion. It understands terrain changes, object weight shifts, and balance corrections in real time. This comes from decades of research in locomotion, hydraulics, and control systems. No other company has invested as long or as deeply in this specific area. But here's the uncomfortable truth about Atlas 2.0. It's still not built for mass deployment. Boston Dynamics designs robots to solve the hardest problems in robotics, not the cheapest ones. Atlas 2.0 is incredibly complex, expensive, and difficult to manufacture at scale. It's a technological masterpiece, but not a product designed to flood factories or warehouses anytime soon. Atlas 2.0 shines in research, defense-adjacent use cases, disaster response, and environments where failure is not an option. It proves what's physically possible, but it doesn't yet prove what's economically scalable. Now contrast that with Unitree H2, which represents almost the opposite philosophy. Unitree's approach is speed, affordability, and iteration. The H2 is designed to be lighter, cheaper, and faster to produce than most Western humanoid robots. It doesn't try to be perfect. It tries to be good enough, quickly. Unitree H2 focuses heavily on electric actuation instead of complex hydraulic systems. This simplifies manufacturing and maintenance while reducing cost. The movements aren't as fluid or powerful as Atlas 2.0, but they're improving rapidly. And in many real-world use cases, good enough motion is more valuable than elite athletic performance. Another major strength of Unitree H2 is accessibility. Unitree actively pushes toward wider developer adoption, research labs, startups, and commercial pilots. That creates an ecosystem effect. More developers experimenting means faster software learning, faster bug discovery, and faster iteration. The H2 is not trying to dominate heavy industrial work. It's positioning itself as a flexible humanoid platform for education, light logistics, inspection, and service tasks. And because it's affordable relative to competitors, adoption barriers are much lower. This is where Unitree quietly becomes dangerous to bigger players. It may not win on raw capability, but it can win on volume and learning speed. In robotics, learning speed often beats perfection. Then there's Q1, which sits in a more ambiguous but increasingly important position. Q1 is designed around practical deployment and modularity. It's not chasing viral demos or extreme motion. It's chasing reliability, controllability, and integration. Q1's movement is conservative by design. It prioritizes stability over flair. That makes it less exciting to watch, but far more attractive to risk-averse businesses. In 2026, companies care less about what a robot can do once, and more about what it can do 10,000 times without failing. Where Q1 stands out is system-level thinking. Its architecture is built to integrate with existing automation, enterprise software, and monitoring systems. The robot is treated less like a standalone marvel and more like a node in a larger operational network. Q1 also emphasizes task specialization. Instead of trying to be a general humanoid immediately, it focuses on defined task clusters. Material handling, inspection, transport, repetitive workplace movement. This makes training, validation, and safety certification much easier. Now, when you compare all three side by side, the philosophical differences become obvious. Atlas 2.0 is about pushing the physical limits of humanoid robotics. It answers the question, what is the best a robot can possibly move? Unitree H2 answers a different question. How fast can humanoid robots spread if we make them affordable and flexible? Q1 answers yet another. How do we actually deploy humanoid robots inside real businesses without breaking workflows or budgets? In terms of intelligence, all three are improving, but in different ways. Atlas 2.0 relies heavily on advanced control systems, tightly coupled with perception. Unitree H2 leans towards software learning and rapid iteration. Q1 focuses on structured task reasoning and predictable behavior. There is no single winner here, because they're not competing for the same immediate outcome. But the long-term implications are clear. Boston Dynamics will continue to define what's possible. Their work influences everyone else, even if their robots aren't everywhere. Unitree will likely dominate early volume adoption, especially in Asia and research-heavy environments. Q1 could quietly become the favorite of enterprises that care more about uptime than spectacle. The real battle isn't happening on the CES stage. It's happening after deployment. Which robot learns fastest from real environments? Which one breaks less often? Which one integrates without friction? Which one earns trust from operators and managers? Boston Dynamics, CES 2026. Atlas 2.0 versus Unitree. H2 versus Q1 shows us that humanoid robotics is no longer a single race. It's splitting into multiple lanes. Performance, price, practicality. And the future won't be decided by the most impressive demo. It will be decided by the robot that shows up every day, does the job quietly, and doesn't make headlines. That's the real shift happening in humanoid robotics in 2026, and it's far more important than any single announcement.